It's murder. We gon' clap back. We gon' clap back. Shakur Stevenson claps back. We gon' clap back. We gon' clap back at all the haters, all the detractors, all the naysayers running their mouth. He said he don't give a. The Edwin De Los Santos performance proves that he's a great. We're gonna talk about it in this video. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. You guys gotta subscribe to my channel because I'm the best of the business, and it's not even close. Shakur Stevenson really is not over it, and I'm gonna take you right on this journey. He posted on his stories, Bernie Mac, I ain't scared of you, mother. And this whole clip of Bernie Mac is basically Bernie Mac saying, get yours because I'm gonna get mine. I don't give a uck, blah, blah, blah. Then he says, and I quote, Shakur says, I watched my fight for the first time. So it took him, a week, all this. I kind of find that hard to believe. In my opinion, because you received so much flack for your performance with Edwin De Los Santos, and the fight is available on ESPN Plus. I had the opportunity to rewatch it, but I didn't because it wasn't even a fight. That's not a fight that I would go back to, put it that way. So it took you a week after hearing all that. Like for me, you're a student in the game, Shakur Stevenson's student in the game. If I make a mistake, I want to kind of go back into it and lean into it to see why. Like, I'm not going to wait a week. I'm like, if I had like an edit and the video I put out was just so heavily criticized, I'm gonna go watch it back immediately because I'm a perfectionist and I kind of want to know, why is everyone so up in arms about this piece of work from me? You know what I mean? So I would definitely analyze it right then and there. So that's a little hard to believe that he just watched it for the first time, but whatever. I watched my fight for the first time. Yeah, let me stop letting casual fans get in my head. That ninja couldn't touch me with one hand. Boxing on the highest level with one hand is insane, and being able to control a really good fighter with one hand is crazy. A testament to how great I truly am. Ninja's not effing with me on my worst day. My IQ is way too high for y'all. Most people don't know ish about boxing, says Shakur Stevenson. Argue with your mama about it. I'm smoking your favorite fighter when the time come, chasing greatness. And then a couple people reposted it, and then he reposted it. Listen, these fighters need immediate, like somebody to step in and intervene and help guide their career. And maybe they have these people, but in my opinion, this is not a great look for Shakur Stevenson. For one, we're on the eve, or not even eve, the fight's tonight. An amazing Showtime boxing card with David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade. You got Hector Luis Garcia on the card, Lamont Roach on the card, Sergey Lipinets, Subriel Matias, Michel Rivera returning, Vito Milnicki, right? You got Jamal Charlo making his long-awaited return versus David Benavidez' brother, Jose Benavidez. So the point I'm making is you choose the morning of that fight, we're in another fight week, to kind of come out and say like, yeah, I looked at it. I mean, for the most part, I don't even think no one's really tripping off the fight right now. Like, so do you understand what I'm talking about when it comes to image and branding and stuff like that? Like, at the end of the day, you won the belt. Whether you like the performance, whether we, the fans, like the performance, you're the champion. And for me, if I was in Shakur's like camp or team or, his close confidant, I would tell him like all this stuff. Like, what are you proving then? If you know you the ish and you look great and all that, why do you have to make it a public issue? I'll just be like, man, bump them. They don't know what they talking about. But he's posting this. I don't feel that good, bae. But if I gotta jump in my bag and get the win, I'm gonna do that. This like alleged tweet that you send out talking about I don't feel well. sounding like Peter Parker's Spider-Man from the the Avengers Infinity War. Remember when Tom Holland, Peter Parker was like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so well. I don't feel so well. When the boy Thanos hit the snap and then Tony Stark and everybody started to disintegrate. Mr. Stark, I don't feel that way. That's what you sound like. You sound like Peter Parker. I don't feel that good, babe. But if I gotta jump in my bag, I will. What's happening? What's wrong, Mr. Stark? Like, it's crazy. Your performance is what it was. Like Devin Haney just did a media day and he said Shakur looked like Ish. So you can try your best to go against the maddening crowd and all the people that feel this was not your best work and try to convince us. But guess what? It's not going to convince us. You had all these legends in the picture, 2 of them walking you out, Crawford and Ward. It wasn't your best night. You could say you the one-hand bandit and all this other stuff. It wasn't your best night, you know? And I understand my duty in this game. That's why some people get mad, like, because they don't like criticism. I noticed that with fighters. It's crazy to me, too, that fighters take punches in the face for a living, but they can't take criticism. Some of them, right? How do you take hard punches and uppercuts, uppies to the face, but you can't take criticism? And again, I just personally think Shakur is a good fighter. He's a good kid and all that type of stuff. But this is just not the way to go about it. Your performance is flat. And here's the other thing. Do what Ward would have done, which is, all right, I met with all this resistance. Normally my performances don't look like this. And normally people aren't doubting me and saying I'm a paper champion and all that type of stuff. Then rematch him. I think truly that is the best that Shakur could do, is rematch him. If I don't feel well and your hand was hurt and your shoulder was hurt and all these various things that we heard as far as excuses to why you perform like that and why you apologize to the legends and why you said it was a bad performance immediately post-fight. And now you like double back it and say, oh, I watched the fight and I got to stop letting fans get to me. And Shakur, like, as a man, I can't tell someone how to be a man, but just from my perspective, I feel like he really has to work on being congruent with what he says. He literally says, yeah, let me stop letting casual fans get in my head. But he said that before the fight with Edwin De Los Santos. He went off on boxing media, said they're fake and snakes and fakes and phonies. And then he literally said before the fight that he had to stop listening to what people said because it just wasn't the truth and they weren't going to give him credit no way. Then he put up really his worst performance of his career. And then now he's back saying, oh, let me stop listening to what people said. You said that before the fight. You could go look at the tapes. You could go look at the post-fight interview where he's apologizing. Pre-fight where he say, I gotta stop listening to the critics and all this type of stuff. Now you put up your own promoter, Bob Arum, said it was a stinker. And then now you're still trying to convince us that this was some boxing wizardry, you know, instead of just letting it go. I really don't understand it personally, but it's not for me to understand because I'm not Shakur. And finally, I got to touch on this because I see it a lot. A lot of times when boxers get this type of backlash and bad performance, or basically when people are saying things they don't want to hear, right? What the number one defense mechanism is, y'all don't know ish about boxing. Y'all a bunch of casuals. You casuals don't box. You never been in a fight, etc. So using this same lie, I just think that's not, there's casuals in boxing. I've talked about this throughout my whole career. Cool. But that's not the fix-all remedy when you literally had a bad performance. You see what I'm saying? You can't just say, oh, you're a bunch of casuals. Because even hardcore boxing fans, even Shakur Stevenson fans, I've seen them in the comment, man, Shakur's making it hard to defend, or I'm a big Shakur fan, he's my guy still, but that wasn't it. You know what I mean? So it's not just casuals who are saying this and critiquing your performance, but that seems to be the ideology from a lot of boxers that you're saying a criticism that I don't really like or want to hear, so you're just a bunch of casuals. But it's not just casuals saying this. This is not just people who watch boxing once a year saying this. In your fight, you're not even like a tank like type of name to the point where you're luring in probably as many casuals as a fight like Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis or Mayweather McGregor. So it's not just about casuals, and I think that becomes a patsy, a scapegoat for boxers to just say, like Shakur just did, y'all don't know ish about boxing. That gotta be it, you know what I mean? Is you don't know ish about boxing. But the reality is you can't just use that all the time. Oh, you don't box, you don't know ish about boxing, because Devin Haney is a boxer. So if we're gonna take it there, Devin Haney's a boxer, and he said you perform like ish, and he says his fight ain't gonna be no Shakur stuff. Jermaine Ortiz and George Kambosos was saying I struggled to stay awake and I almost fell asleep, right? So it's actual boxers, your peers are saying the same thing, you know, about the performance not being the best. And then as far as saying one hand and all that, Gervonta Davis had one hand versus Isaac Cruz, and it didn't look like that. The fight was still exciting. There's anticipation, etc. So we can't just fall back on, oh, y'all don't know boxing, y'all don't box. Using that same logic, I rap. I've always rapped. I've always been a writer, right? So I'm the only person that can critique an album that comes out because I rap. So how does Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Crawford and people who don't actually rap, how do they come out and critique an album? Because that's what boxers always do. Oh, you're not a boxer. You're not a professional fighter. You don't know. How do you critique a movie? You're not a director. You're not an actor. So how could you determine? You could still, that's what I'm saying. You could still determine if a movie sucks or if it don't. If there's loopholes in the plot, if the screenplay and the writing is weak, you don't have to be an actor for that. Just like being a boxer. Everyone keeps falling back on this when they don't want the feedback. Oh, you don't know, you don't box. Okay, you don't rap, so you can never judge a rap album until you've been in the studio, like me. You see what I'm saying? It's just kind of a weak defense mechanism. There's some people that really respect the sport of boxing, the sweet science, and even love defense. Like me, Pernell Whitaker is one of my favorites since a child. I grew up on Pernell. He didn't fight like you fought. So it's not just a mere, oh, you're a bunch of casuals or Shakur haters because of the performance. So it seems more beneficial for Shakur at this point to just drop it. Let the criticism be what it is, but let the criticism turn you into a monster. Let the criticism take you to another dimension and another level with your skill set. If you don't like how you feel, that's great. I like it when I get a fight prediction wrong and people say, oh, your channel's over. Great. They're saying my channel's over. I've been hearing that my whole career. They said after Mayweather versus McGregor, my channel would be over. But I got that one right because I picked Floyd. But even ones I've gotten wrong, I picked Rigondeaux to beat Lomachenko. They say, oh, your channel's over. That was years ago, and I'm still here. I came from the gutter, and I'm still here. So I don't worry about that. So Shakur saying and posting Bernie Mac is saying he don't care. But for real, I feel like you do care, because if you didn't care, you wouldn't be responding so much to this stuff. Just let it be. Let it be what it is. I mean, I'm not telling, Shakur is a grown man. He can do whatever he wants. I'm just giving my perspective of what I think would be the best. And for me, the best would be to just let people criticize, let people say, get it out their system, and just come back stronger. I think that's the best thing he could do here. Gang. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now.
The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.
Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.